Wow.
So they have a different roster than they started the year with construction-wise. But, of course, they have the defending Maravich Award winner, which is Lily Williams, the Michigan State commit. She's fired up, ready to go. Meanwhile, for Tulsa Chef, they finished 4th in the Heartland Regional. And so, like you mentioned, we've got this pool play game. The girls' 18U is doing pool play this year. The boys are not. The boys are doing bracket play. But for our first game of the girls' 18U, we've got a pool play game.
Yeah, and the Tulsa Chef Arrows are led by Justice Walters, who averages just under 12 points a game and nearly 4.5 steals a game. Tulsa Chef known for getting in there on defense. But we got a tip going to the Firebirds to begin the ball game. In the hands of Valentine on the swing now. Going to feed it into Williams, who just is dominant there in the post.
It's exactly what you'd expect for HEA to start the game. You have the size advantage. You want to test them early, and Lily puts it in right away.
Walters is going to bring it around the right side on the right wing. Now up top to Pennington. Getting the pressure here from the Firebirds, driving baseline and trying to swing it out to the left wing. That was number 24, Megan Kennedy, and she threw it away with nobody there.
I'll be interested to see how Tulsa chooses to attack the defense. Obviously, with a player that has the gravitas of Lily down in the paint, you've got to find some creative ways to get some points. They can't all be on the outside. You can see them now double teaming Lily down low in the post.
Valentine the drive, kicking it outside. Quick ball movement from the Firebirds, feeding it into Williams. She's working in that post again. She misses that time. Good defense by the Arrows, and they get it into the hands of Justice Walters once again. She's up the floor now. Up top, dealing with a man-to-man defense. Wide open right wing three is back rim no good, rebounded by Williams.
Good looking shot for Tulsa. A opportunity to get a wide open three-pointer. They'll obviously have to try to knock down as many of those as they can with the opportunities against the defending champions.
So back up top on the swing is Hannah Williams and a feed inside. Williams' three is well off as it airballs out of bounds. But she had an opening, but this Arrows defense is swarming pretty nicely here.
They are. They've done a great job of trying to limit Lily as best as you can. She obviously has found a way to get to her spots down low, but so far so good for Tulsa.
Just over 6 minutes to play here in the opening period, and up top with the basketball is Pennington. And she'll get it over to the wing to Walters. Driving baseline, kick outside. Three-pointer left wing is back rim no good, but they're able to get the offensive board here with Walters. And the pivot. Finding the J, no good there from Kennedy, but the rebound pulled in by Lily Williams, and she'll feed it over to Lincoln.
And one thing you'll notice that HEA does on the offensive end is they are not ones to push the pace. Even when they had a full roster of players, they like to slow things down, kind of walk the ball up the court, and get into their sets.
Here's Valentine, left wing. Now it's going to be the drive from Lincoln on the up fake. Lily Williams dropping it off, but that's going to be a jump ball. So good job there defensively by Megan Kennedy forcing the jump ball. And I believe this ball will go to the Arrows.
They've done a great job, like you mentioned, swarming on the defensive end. Lily's gotten an opportunity to get the ball a couple of times in the paint, and they've done a good job of cutting her off and making sure that she's not been able to affect the game too much.
Walters dealing with the pressure. Up top three from Pennington, no good, and the rebound pulled in by Williams. And here early, the Arrows just not able to get their outside shots to go, but they've gotten three up already.
Gotten some good looks, have not been able to connect.
Lincoln on the move. Hannah Williams, nice fake. Drop off. Short corner J is long, no good. Rebound pulled in by Stout for the Arrows as she pushes it up the floor. Oh, that one's picked clean by Lincoln. And she's all by herself for the finish. All-region player for the Midwest, and she finishes on the other end.
Yeah, Emma Lincoln is another valuable addition to this team. She was an All-American last year for the defending champs.
Walters dealing with the pressure there. Pulling up the floater. Oh, it just pops out. Rebound Williams. There's going to be a foul very far away from the basket there. And it will be against Walters.
It was a great look for Walters. That ball rimmed in and out about halfway down before it popped back up. Just nothing going so far for the Arrows. They've got to find a way to get some good looks and continue to try to put some in.
4-0 ball game. Now on the swing to the corner, Williams. Outside, Valentine. She'll find Lincoln, right wing 3. Short, no good. And the offensive board again by the Firebirds. Back out corner, Valentine's 3. No good. And the rebound's pulled in by Stout. She's being swarmed, but she's fouled there. Foul's going to be against HEA. And it appears that they called that one against Williams. There was 4-0 halfway through the first quarter, and Walters is going to bring it up the floor now. Defense here from Valentine. And Stout driving baseline. Underneath, blocked by Williams. And the Firebirds will get it back with Lincoln with the basketball. Across half court on the cross. Now she drives to her left. Lily Williams up top 3. Oh, got it. And Lily Williams dropping one from the outside, and a 7-0 lead for the Firebirds.
Yeah, if Williams is hitting that shot from the outside, it could be a long game for Tulsa. I still like what they've been able to do on the offensive end. They've gotten some good looks. They've got good ball movement. Just nothing going so far. You'd like to see a couple drop in the net and maybe see if your chances change a little bit. As Walters, too, she's gotten several good looks.
Hey, you're talking about a lot of pop-outs there as Walters pops another one out, and the Firebirds will get the ball again. Valentine takes the deep right wing 3 and knocks it down.
So Lila Valentine last year was an 8th grader playing up at the varsity level, and she handled herself well as they won the national championship game. And here she is as a freshman this year, knocks down the triple, and just like that, it's 10-0 after a couple of back-to-back threes.
And she's playing with confidence. 10-0 lead for the Firebirds. 3 minutes to go, first quarter.
So coming out of the timeout, I'd like to see what Tulsa's going to do as they come on the offensive end. They've gotten a lot of good ball movement, and I even like some of the fakes they've had where they've pump-faked Lily, driven baseline. Obviously, she's quick enough that she can recover on the defensive end. But I really am interested to see, because they've gotten such good looks, I wonder if, like I mentioned earlier, if they hit one of those shots early on in the second quarter or end of the first quarter, if that can kind of give them that confidence. You know, I've seen this before with teams where you just miss and miss and miss, and even though it's close, you just feel like nothing can go in, and then you start knocking in a couple, and all of a sudden your fortunes seem to change.
Walters up the left side now for the Arrows, hitting the corner, Pennington. Good defense here from the Firebirds. Stout will feed it over the other side. And now Walters dealing with the defense here from Lincoln. Walters the drive, drop off inside at the basket, and there's going to be another foul against Lily Williams. And I believe that will be foul number 2 against her. And so that is something that the Arrows would definitely like to see, is being able to put her in foul trouble. That can definitely change the game for the Arrows.
For the Arrows, they certainly want to use the aggression of HEA against them. HEA is able to be so aggressive, especially for their guards, because you have somebody like Lily Williams down low. Right, you have that kind of defensive presence behind you. It gives you that much more confidence to play aggressive out top, and that's really been an issue for Tulsa, seeing how they're going to attack that kind of defensive pressure. They've done a good job so far of getting some good looks, just nothing going on the scoreboard.
Kelsey Mace missed the first. She misses the second as well, so still a goose egg here for the Arrows, but they've gotten some good opportunities, just haven't been able to put them in. Lincoln with the basketball up top to Williams. She drives in. Kick outside. Jay is back rim no good, and the Arrows are able to pull down the rebound.
Good look from Mosler, just not able to put that in.
Walters from the right wing. Guarded by Valentine. Feed to the corner, Pennington. Corner tray is no good. Good offensive board there by Mace. And she'll get it back. Firebirds on the trap here. And there's going to be a jump ball. They're going to send this one over to the Firebirds. As we're late in this first quarter, we already had a jump ball earlier.
I think the Firebirds are starting to warm up a little bit on their defensive end. They started the game with pressure, but the pressure they've had so far at the end of this first quarter has been swarming against Tulsa. particularly from the guards.
Lincoln able to go downhill and draw the foul against number 11, Morgan Stout. That's her first personal foul. And you got Lincoln at the foul line now. She's got 2 points so far, 10-0 lead for the Firebirds. First free throw goes down.
You would love to see in the final minute 46 for Tulsa to get some points on the board. Just even mentally going into the second quarter, you don't want to look up at the scoreboard and see a goose egg. Offensive rebound putback, no good from Lily Williams.
Williams unable to convert there on that offensive board. Here's a drive from Pennington, and she's blocked by Hannah Williams. And the ball goes out of bounds. I think it'll stay with Tulsa here. And this Arrows team usually shoot better from three. I mean, Justice Walters is a 30% three-point shooter, which isn't bad. She just hasn't been able to get them to go down. They've been popping out a little bit, and we got a foul in behind by Emma Lincoln here.
I could be wrong, but I believe that first foul that we thought was called on Lily, I think they actually called that on Emma. So I don't know which one of them has two. Maybe we can check that during the halftime break to see the foul counts. But still nothing going for Tulsa.
That's right, another miss there, and Lincoln comes away with the rebound, getting the screen from Williams. He's going to drive to the left. Valentine into the lane. The scoop shot's no good. Rebound pulled down by Meek. And now we got Walters moving against Lincoln. And we got another foul here.
If that's against Emma Lincoln, that could be her third. I'm kind of looking at the score table, too, to see what number they're going to tell Coach Williams. They're looking over at her. She doesn't seem too concerned, so maybe that is only her second.
Stout's going to get the left wing three and hit it.
There you go. You get one on the board. We'll see how that affects them with just a minute to go, see if they can cut this a little bit more. It's a huge mental difference looking up at the scoreboard and seeing 11-0 versus 11-3 or 11-6.
So you got Hannah Williams with it now on the far left wing. Get it up top to Lincoln now. Firebirds trying to answer that three-pointer. Feed inside to Lily Williams.
Good job on the double team by Tulsa to come over, but ultimately ends up being a 2-point shot from Mosler. So good quick decision making from Lily Williams to know that that far corner had came for the double team, and she kicked it to the corner for the bucket.
13-3 ball game. Good ball movement there from the Firebirds. Now the Arrows have it. Closing in 20 seconds to go in the first quarter, feeding the short corner. Pennington trying to get it, but Valentine broke it up. Firebirds have a lot of energy, and Valentine definitely brings the energy there for them as Stout's going to get it in.
I got to tell you, I've been so impressed by the guards. I mean, of course, you're going to get what you're going to get from Lily Williams, but I've been so impressed by the defensive pressure of Valentine and Lincoln for HEA. They've really caused a lot of havoc in the game for Tulsa so far.
Mosler knocks down another shot right at the buzzer. That's Grace Mosler, and she's got 4 points now as we end the first quarter. 15-3 advantage for the HEA Firebirds over the Tulsa Chef Arrows. And the thing about the Arrows is that early on, they didn't let the Firebirds score very quickly, but the last few possessions have gone the Firebirds' way on offense.
I think some of these teams that come to nationals, you know, you look at that 10 o'clock start time for varsity, you typically don't have a lot of games that start that early. And so, you know, not making excuses for any team. You got to come prepared. You got to be ready for any game that comes your way. But I think HEA is really starting to get comfortable in what they're trying to do. They're putting a lot of pressure on the Arrows guards. And, of course, again, they're able to do that because of that defensive presence they have in there with the Williams sisters. But like you mentioned on the offensive end, a couple of baskets there at the end from Mosler. They've just done a good job of recognizing that the defense is sagging off of her towards Lily Williams. So that gravity of Lily is allowing them to recognize, okay, well, Mosler's just going to have that baseline shot pretty much anytime she wants it. And if she's able to knock that down, it's going to just continue to increase the lead for HEA. I mean, 15-3 in a first quarter. You can look up and feel like that's pretty daunting. But, again, you hit a couple of shots, you're right back in it.
And the Arrows 18-13 on the season, and the way they have really won ball games is by being able to force turnovers on the other team. And the Firebirds have done a great job of taking care of the basketball here. Second quarter begins right now. Firebirds in the lead by 12, 15-3 as we begin second quarter action. Walters on the swing now to Hope Stout. And a feed in to the high post. Walters on the step back, guarded by Valentine. Now she's up top. And now Pennington in the corner. Hitting the high post again, Meek. And now the drive.
This has been excellent ball movement by Tulsa. Ultimately ends in a turnover, but they've done a great job of attacking that 2-3 zone, looking for some different opportunities.
Valentine comes up with the steal there. She'll get the screen from Williams and toss it over to Hannah Williams. Here's Lily, the drive to the basket. She'll put it in and one.
That's just a tough thing to handle. You've got 6'8" post driving at you on the left-hand side, and you're expected to somehow do something about that. I mean, I guess at that opportunity you could potentially take a charge, but unless you have that positioning, that's just going to be a really, really tough thing to do.
ESPN has her ranked to number 20 in the nation in high school girls basketball. I mean, she's as tough of a player as you're going to play against. And you know the Arrows are noticing that now as Williams misses the free throw, but Lincoln on the hustle on the offensive board. And that's the kind of stuff the Arrows can't let go. And they're down 17-3 right now. Lincoln the drive to her left side. Valentine, corner three. No good. Rebound pulled in by Walters.
It was a great job boxing out by Tulsa there. Gloria Meek did a good job of pushing Lily out of the paint.
Stout with it now up top. Feeding the post. Got Mace trying to find where to give the ball to. Hope Stout pulls up the shot, blocked by Williams. Firebirds will get it back.
I can assure you that the Tulsa Chef Arrows are probably not used to having their shots blocked at that kind of point of the apex of their shot. I mean, that's just incredible length and size that they're going to have to make adjustments.
So good defensive play there for the Arrows, making it go off Lincoln's leg. We're going to have some substitutions here for the Firebirds. 6:24 to go in the first half, 17-3 lead for HEA.
And you mentioned earlier the pressure that Tulsa likes to put on the other team. So if they're able to get some of those extra possessions, those possessions are going to come at a premium when you're in a game like this against the defending champs. You don't have a lot of opportunities to waste.
Pennington the drive on the baseline. And Lily Williams going to take that ball away. And Valentine back with it up the left side of the floor. Got the 14-point advantage here, and they're looking to find some more buckets. Valentine the drive to the left, floater on the way, and she's fouled en route to the basket.
I believe they got Pennington for the foul. In that last possession, a couple of different Firebirds checked in. Amber Rao checked in, as did Vivian Orsini.
And the first free throw is good for Valentine. So this is Pool A, folks. So there are 4 pools of 4 teams each here in the field of 16. That is the 18U girls D1. Second free throw does not go for Valentine. Walters now on the attack. Corner three is on the way and just pops out. The good offensive board there for the Arrows. Walters with it again. Drive, floater on the way is good.
Nice shot from Justice Walters. She's certainly someone that the Arrows need to get going. They rely on her a lot for offense, and if she's able to knock down some shots, it can certainly get them back in the ball game.
Hannah Williams the drive. Her floater's no good, and the rebound is pulled in by Stout. Getting it back to Walters. The Arrows just scored. They're looking to get 2 straight possessions with a bucket here. Here's Stout up top. Ball is tipped a little bit, but she got it back. Kennedy back to Walters. And Walters left side of the floor, guarded by Valentine. Gets the screen now. Drives high post. Now three-pointer on the way for Stout. Bombs away, baby.
Nice shot for Hope Stout. That was actually really good defense, too, from Valentine. I thought Valentine almost had a chance to block that. But, again, big shots from Tulsa Chef. Any points they can take, they will certainly appreciate.
18-8 ball game now. And Hannah Williams trying to toss it over to her sister Lily, but the ball went out, and that's a steal there by Kennedy. And Kennedy, the drive, it goes off the leg of Williams here. And they're going to keep it with the Arrows. And see, that's the kind of thing the Arrows have had going for them this season, and they were able to get it on that possession. We're about halfway through the second quarter, a 10-point game lead for the Firebirds, but the Arrows have scored on the last 2 possessions. They're trying to get some momentum here. It's going to be a timeout called by Tulsa as Coach Kennedy is going to get time here. 18-8 is the ball game. What are you seeing from Tulsa the last couple of possessions that could get them back in the ball game?
So one of the things I've noticed is that they had Emma Lincoln on the bench for HEA. She actually just checked back in at the score table. But one of the things that they were able to do is they started putting a little bit more pressure on the HEA guards. Obviously, Valentine's able to handle the rock pretty comfortably, but they had a couple of bench players in for HEA, and I think they decided to kind of amp up that pressure a little bit more. It led to a couple of turnovers, led to them getting a three-pointer, and you've got to be able to take advantage because, again, you come out of the timeout, and you've got Lily Williams on the floor, you've got Emma Lincoln, you've got Lila Valentine. All 3 of them were on the all-region team for the Midwest, and so you're going to have a tough go of it. And so if you can potentially attack some of the bench or take advantage of players getting some rest, you've got to take points where you can get them, and they've done a good job of that the last couple of possessions.
Martinez, the drive on the baseline. That one's stolen by Valentine, and good job stopping her by Lily Williams, and then Valentine just jumped into the passing lane there. Now the drive from Valentine to the left. Kick outside Hannah Williams. Now the move to Lincoln, but she shuffled those feet. Travel. And we have a little update here. Dallas HSAA and the Thesa Riders playing on the campus of Drury University right now. 23-22 lead for Thesa in that ball game. And that is Pool D. Walters' 3 does not go. She still hasn't made one from the outside. Mace the offensive rebound. Back to Walters again. Now the fake, feeding it back to Mace. Back Walters. And Martinez dealing with the defense. Feeding it in to Stout on the pump fake, fade away. And Lily Williams able to swat it.
Yep, even on a fadeaway, she's still getting the swat on the shot. So, again, it really affects what you're doing offensively because you're almost mentally thinking, well, we're not really going to get a lot of anything around the basket. And if that's something that you're used to, whether it's off of cuts or different types of actions, as an and one is good for Lucy Martinez. You know, if you're used to getting those kind of looks and then all of a sudden you realize like that is completely being negated from your game plan, it really affects the way that you attack offensively.
I don't know who they tagged that foul on, but nice and one there for Lucy Martinez, which cuts the lead to 8 here. She's got a free throw with an opportunity to make it a 3-point play, but she fails to convert there, and Lily Williams pulled down the board and gives it up to Lincoln. Lincoln up top now. Valentine, the move. Back up to Lincoln. Under 3 minutes to go in the first half. And the Firebirds trying to have an answer here, as this has been a 7-0 run for the Arrows. And losing the ball are the Firebirds and turning it over. So the Arrows able to make a dent here defensively.
And you're able to see what they're doing on the defensive end. That last possession down in the paint, Lily had about 2 to 3 defenders on her at the entire time. And they're basically forcing the HEA guards to figure out how they're going to score because they're just denying Williams what she wants to do down low. And HEA has had some issues swinging it around the outside, but not really a lot of attack. So if I'm HEA, I'm looking to have my guards attack as well. You can't just keep passing it around the outside. You've got to eventually attack, even if you've got Lily down in there.
Under 2.5 minutes to go first half. They feed it over Valentine, right wing, up top Hannah Williams. And a swing back to Lincoln. She'll drive to her left. A kick outside, Jay on the way, and that one's missed long, and a hustle by Valentine, and it'll be out of bounds. Going back to the Arrows.
But even that drive from Lincoln, you could see the defense moving towards her, which allowed for a shot attempt that was ultimately no good from Mosler, but it still is something that HEA is going to need to do if the focus is so heavily inside.
At the high post, ball was tipped a little bit. Oh, Lily Williams with the vehement block, and she's able to save it in and get the possession for the Firebirds.
You know, she played volleyball this year as well. I think she brought a little bit of that spike back into that last possession.
Lincoln on the left wing three, but she hopped and traveled before it. And the ball will go back to the Arrows.
This is a critical time period for the Arrows because the HEA offense has become really disjointed. They've had a couple of not great possessions, turnovers, missed shots, missed opportunities. And I actually like the timeout here from HEA. I think Coach Williams said, you know what, let's go ahead and take a look at this, maybe give them a little bit of a breather, an opportunity to just reset coming in towards the end of the first half.
Yes, and Tulsa just able to do what they've been doing all season long, and that is be able to affect other teams' offense with their defense. They average just under 15 steals a game. And so being able to do that, they still haven't gotten a whole lot of steals in this game because the Firebirds are very good with ball handling, but they have caused missed shots and turnovers. And one thing I was going to ask you, Paul, is do you think the Firebirds need to drive the lane a little harder? Because what we're seeing is kind of halfway drives.
I think so, too. I think whatever they are choosing to do on offense, they have certain looks that they're looking for. And you mentioned Tulsa being able to kind of disrupt what some teams are looking to do. They've had a good defensive plan. Obviously on offense they've struggled, but defensively they've had a great plan for how to defend HEA, particularly with Lily Williams down in the paint. And I agree with you. I think HEA does need to look at the way that they're driving.
So Arrows missed a three, but they got the offensive rebound. Three-pointer for Kennedy is no good. Air ball through the hands of Stout. Lily Williams able to pick up the loose change there. And ball back in the hands of Valentine. Valentine up top. 2-3 zone being shown by the Arrows. And she'll swing it over Hannah Williams on the drive. Three-pointer Lincoln is short, no good. Valentine, the putback, no. And the rebound pulled in by the Arrows. And they've got another opportunity to score here, just under a minute to go, and Walter's going to drive to her right side. Now ball in the hands of Martinez. She'll drive. And wow, another foul against Lincoln.
Yeah, they caught Lincoln on that one with a little bit of a push on Martinez. And with just 49.6 seconds left, I think Coach Williams is going to let her kind of play it out. But very critical time period for Tulsa. They have not been able to capitalize on all of these stops. And when you're, again, going against a team of HEA's caliber, you've got to capitalize on the stops. And there you go.
A big three-pointer from Lucy Martinez. And the lead is cut to 5. Unbelievable. A 10-0 run here for the Arrows. That's 5 points for Martinez. Now here's pressure from the Arrows. A drive from Lincoln. Trying to drop it off, but it's off the leg of the Arrows out of bounds. So HEA will have it on the baseline with 20 seconds to play. First half, but wow, the Arrows have made this a ball game.
It's been a very different second quarter. They've outscored HEA so far 10-3 in the period to cut the lead back down to 5. And Lincoln is going to sit for the final 20 seconds of the first half. But again, another huge possession. Can Tulsa get one more stop and potentially end the half with a bucket?
Valentine, far right wing, down to 15 seconds. 2-3 zone being shown by the Arrows. They want to hold strong here. Valentine going to drive. Nice backdoor feed. Mosler back outside. She'll take the three. And it pops out no good, and the Arrows get the rebound, so they're able to get the stop right before the first half comes to an end. And the Firebirds lead by 5, but if you're the Arrows, you're the one that's feeling really encouraged right now.
Excellent end to the first half for the Arrows. They're going to have a lot of momentum coming into the second half. HEA is going to need to look at some adjustments. I can see them talking about it over on the sidelines, and excited to see the second half of this one coming back in just a few minutes.
Yes, and we have an update over from Drury. We have Dallas HSAA and the Thesa Riders. The Riders lead 27-23 at the half. That is 18U girls Pool D, the 1 versus 4 matchup. And so here we are, 18-13 lead for the Firebirds at the half. We will step aside.
When it hurts, real time it. When it hurts, real time it. When it hurts, real time it. When it hurts, real time it.
Ouch!
When it hurts, real time it.
Right on the way here from the AG Financial Arena here on the campus of Evangel University. The HEA Firebirds lead at the half 18-13 over the Tulsa Chef Arrows, but the Arrows finished the first half on a 10-0 run, and that begins our second half coverage. Ball in the hands of Valentine on the toss over. And we'll see what the Firebirds have in store in terms of adjustments from the first half. They got Williams out on the outside right now. Valentine, far left wing, feeding the high post to Williams. Nice drop off at the basket for the bucket. And that was in the hands of Rao, and she gets the bucket.
Williams has done a great job of making quick decisions whenever she gets the ball in the high post. She's swinging the ball to the corners. She's finding the open person and doing a great job of keeping the offense moving.
Pennington feeds up top. Kennedy up top three, well off, but the rebound, it was rejected by Williams. And Hannah Williams gets the loose ball.
Have not been keeping track of blocks, but that's probably at least 5 so far for Williams.
Valentine on the swing to Hannah Williams, who feeds it into her sister Lily. Kick outside. Valentine the drive. Floater on the way. And rolls off no good. Rebound Stout.
Even though that shot was no good, I like the way that HEA has chosen to come out of the second half. A lot, like you mentioned, driving it a lot more, making good, quick decisions, and they look a little bit more lively on the offensive end.
Pennington driving on the right wing. Arrows trail by 7 here, 6.5 minutes to go in the third. Man-to-man defense from the Firebirds, and it's extra pressure here. Kennedy over to Stout. Back Pennington, she'll drive in and blocked again by Lily Williams. And when you're dealing with a girl that tall in there, need to put the floater up a good distance away from her.
Yeah, I think it would surprise some of these players how far away they need to be able to get a shot off from Lily Williams.
Pennington misses the 3, but Mace gets the offensive board. She'll kick it outside to Walters. Deep 3. No good off the back rim, and Lily Williams will get that loose ball. And really, those floaters over probably any other girl, you'd be able to get that one off, because that is a distance away, as there's a foul inside against Walters. She fouls Williams.
And not only that, but when you look on the offensive end, the other thing that is a big advantage for Williams and her height is when she catches the ball in the high post, she's able to turn and see the entire floor. There's no person that's going to get in her way and block her view. So she's able to really be a floor general as well when she gets the ball in the high post.
Walters the rebound off the missed 3, and she'll hit Kennedy. Kick outside, Stout. And that pass made it. Pull-up J for Pennington's no good. And the rebound, Hannah Williams, but the ball was tipped out of bounds. I think it was off the Arrows. It was Firebirds basketball.
Give a lot of credit to the Arrows. They are fearless on the offensive end. Doesn't matter how many times their shots gotten blocked. Doesn't matter, what they've been able to do on the offensive end. As I believe Justice Walters had to crawl under the bleachers to get that basketball. But they've been fearless, and I give them credit. How many times have they gotten blocked or the ball, knocked away by Lily, and they still continue to attack and try to see what they can do on the offensive side.
Here's the drive from Valentine, and she's fouled. Stout picks up the foul here on the sideline.
And that's Stout's 3rd foul, so I think she's going to take a seat. You don't want to get her into too much foul trouble this early into the second half.
So she will sit, and ball will be thrown in to Valentine, right wing. Feed in Lily Williams, kick out Valentine. Corner 3 is no good, but an offensive rebound there by Rao, and her pass outside. Valentine will drive in. Lily Williams up top 3. No good. Offensive board again, but she threw it away as her teammates were standing on the sideline, and I guess she must have thought that they were in bounds and in the game.
Hey, she saw a couple of open white jerseys over there, and she thought, hey, let me pass them the ball. They're open.
That's right. Not a bad idea. Except for that time. Walters with the basketball now, left side of the floor. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Walters again driving to her left. Kick outside. Corner 3 is well off, and the rebound, Valentine. Valentine on the attack. She'll step back and bring it into control. Firebirds lead by 7 with 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And a three-pointer from Mosler is blocked by Kennedy. She's able to corral it and draw the foul. It'll be Mosler picking up her first personal foul. And the ball will be back with the Arrows. But all these stops you're getting, it's only been 2-0 here in the third quarter. You've gotten plenty of stops, but you haven't gotten any buckets either if you're the Arrows.
Yeah, Trellis, and you mentioned this early on too. It has certainly been a very defensive-minded game. Both these teams so keyed in on the defensive side of the ball that offense has been hard to come by. We talked about the premium that the possessions are. The Arrows have gotten some good looks from 3, and if you're going to knock down the champs, you have to be able to knock some of those down.
That pass inside is broken up and gotten by Williams. And HEA back with the basketball again, under 4 minutes to go in the third. Up the right side's Valentine on the swing. Valentine driving. Nice kick out pass to Mosler. Jay, no good. Rebound pulled down by Mace, and Tulsa's done a great job rebounding.
They have. Normally you see a game Lily Williams plays and she'll have 10-plus offensive rebounds. She may only have 1 or 2 in this game. They've done a great job boxing out, a great job defensively. The only thing they really have not been able to do is knock down some open three-pointers.
Mace's left wing three does not go. Rebound, Williams, and she's fouled. And Gloria Meek will be the one to commit the foul. And she dove hard for that one. She's going to come out of the ball game, and Morgan Stout will return. So there's some full court pressure being shown here by Tulsa, and I think we're going to get a timeout here. 3:19 to play in the third quarter. 20-13 lead for the Firebirds. Not a very big difference, but considering how quickly these teams are scoring, it feels like a big divide.
Yeah, it's one of those instances where it feels, if you get a sense of the pulse of the game, it feels like HEA has dominated this game. And again, at one point they were up 18-3, so they kind of were. But then you look up now and you see 20-13, and it still, for some reason, feels like the arrows are a little bit behind when it comes to, do we really have a chance to come back and win the game? Of course they do. It's still early in the second half. There's still time to play. But they've done a great job of, when the tempo slowed down, they found a way to just kind of hang in there, hang around, keep battling, keep fighting. And again, 7-point game and a varsity level is not a lot of a difference. But for some reason, it feels like a chasm in this game. And so I want to see if Arrows can come out and find a way to get some buckets going, because, again, they haven't scored in the entire third quarter. It's been almost 5 minutes without a single point. Meanwhile, HEA's only had 2 points, so it doesn't really say a whole lot about the game itself, other than that's just been a slow pace. But, man, you got to imagine if Arrows can knock down a couple of baskets, it could really change the tenor of this game.
There's the find. Valentine, left wing. Williams. Back to Valentine. Arrows looking to get another stop here. Valentine thought about it and decides against it. Under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Lily Williams on the attack. She'll drive in. They'll call a foul. And that's another one against Stout.
Yep, she just sat with her third, and now she's got 4. And, again, she's been one of the primary defenders on Williams in this game. But it's just, again, it's a tough matchup for anybody. And I think she's done a really fair job of, doing her best against Lily. She's going to kind of get to her spots, and you just kind of hope for the best. She's also done a really good job of basically playing hot potato in the high post. You'll notice as soon as the pass is made to her in the high post, she almost doesn't at all hold the ball for very long, because it looks like Valentine took a knock.
I think Lila Valentine may have taken an elbow to the head on the rebound battle. She looks like she should be okay. You hope she is, but she might come out of the ball game. And we're going to see Emma Lincoln back in the game. We haven't seen a whole lot of her here in the second half, as she's in some foul trouble. But I think Valentine's going to take a seat for the first time in the ball game. 8-point game lead for the Firebirds. And they've got the ball now. 2:40 to go in the third. Three-pointer Hannah Williams, and getting it to go. And how huge is that?
It feels monumental, and you've got to love the Williams connection to push the lead back up to double digits.
24-13 is the score. Just under 2.5 minutes to go in the third. Pennington's going to drive. That floater is a nice one. It just doesn't go, but a rebound put back no good either, and Lily Williams now with it in the open court. She's got it, and Kennedy stripped it away, but it's gotten back by Rao. Lincoln to Williams. Back Lincoln. Her three-pointer is no good, and the rebound pulled in by Stout.
I don't know if Lincoln realized it, but she had all the time in the world to set up for that shot. Looked a little bit rushed, and she left it a little short, but good look for Lincoln.
Stout on the far left wing. Driving to the right now. Back to the basket. There's going to be a foul. Amber Rao's going to pick up her first. And Tulsa will have it on the baseline. Minute 50 to go in the third quarter. Feed it in to Pennington. Feeds it inside. Hook shot from Stout's no good. Got a little update from Drury. Dallas HSAA in the lead by 4 heading into the fourth quarter, 41-37. One more quarter action there. A good ball game over there at Drury.
One of the things I love about the schedule this year at Nationals is a lot of the games that are on the feature courts are happening at the same time as their counterparts at the other court. So you get a good idea of, where things are heading into the next day.
Just over a minute to go in the third quarter, and you got Justice Walters with the basketball now. Here's the drive. Left-hand floater's nice, good. Man, what a shot there from Kennedy. Megan Kennedy getting on the board for the first time in the ball game, but a nice left-hand floater.
And that's the first points of the quarter for the Arrows. So for obvious reasons, a big shot.
So the pass ends up going off Stout's leg out of bounds. Just over 48 seconds to play in the third quarter. 24-15 is the score, lead for HEA. They're going to get the ball in now to Lincoln, who's up top.
I like the approach here for HEA. They are not settling for the final shot. They're not stalling out, slowing things down. They get it into Williams, who's not able to corral the dribble, but I like the fact that they decided, let's just go ahead and keep attacking. We don't need to stall it out, wait for the last shot, potentially get a bad look. But now Arrows are going to get a shot at another attempt as well.
The feed to Walters. Nice drive, a nice finish from Justice Walters. And she's got 4, and now a 4-0 run here by the Arrows, cutting the lead to 7. They're going to feed it back Lily Williams. They got Lincoln down to 15 seconds to go in the third quarter. Lincoln against Pennington. And now she steps back. That pass is broken up, but Williams able to get it back. Hannah Williams for 3 at the buzzer, just misses short. And the third quarter comes to a finish, and we've got a 24-17 ball game. The HEA Firebirds outscored the Arrows by 2 points. So just kind of moving the needle a little bit in their direction. 24-17 heading into the fourth. Fourth quarter action begins right now. 24-17 is the score, lead for the Firebirds, and the Arrows have the ball now. They trail by 7. They're going to try to make that up. That's a 3-possession ball game. Walter's going to feed it over to the wing. Stout. Now the drive by Martinez. And now Stout with it now. Here's the drive. Stout shot blocked by Williams. And she's had a boatload of them here this morning.
When you look at outside of the first quarter, when the Arrows really dug themselves a big hole, they went down 15-3. Since that first quarter, they've outscored HEA. HEA has had 9 points since the first quarter, and Arrows have had 14. So, obviously you can't go back and change that first quarter, but you got to hope that you can continue to chip away here in the fourth.
Here's Walters, move to the left, hitting the corner. Here's Stout, the drive, left hand finish. Nice play there from Morgan Stout, finding the bucket. She's got 5, and the lead is cut to 5, 24-19.
She recognized that Lily accidentally got screened by her own person, and now turnover heading the other way.
Here's
and they
Tulsa.
cut it further.
Three-pointer from Martinez missed off the side of the backboard, and it goes out of bounds. So we'll go back to the Firebirds, but wow, able to force a turnover as Rao wasn't looking for the ball there when Lincoln passed it to her. Full court pressure here from Tulsa. 5-point game, 7 minutes to play. Back over to Valentine. Feed to Lily Williams, and she's fouled and hit in the face there. But they were just trying to kind of break that pass up, but end up getting her.
If that's Stout, that could be her 5th. She might have just fouled out of the game. She did.
She did. So that's Morgan Stout, and she's done for the morning.
That's a big loss. And for HEA, one of the things, too, you look up at the score, it's 24-19, 5-point game. But there was a long stretch in the third quarter where they could have extended the lead had they, made some shots, hit some free throws, and yet here we are. It's still just a 5-point game.
Here's Valentine, the swing. Lincoln back up top, Valentine, and now it's Hannah Williams with the basketball. 6:40 to go in the ball game. Back up top, Hannah Williams. Feed inside to Rao, but it's through her hands out of bounds.
Straight through the wickets.
And Tulsa with it again, 5-point ball game. You don't have Morgan Stout in the ball game anymore. You still have Justice Walters out there in Pennington, and you got others that have done a lot of damage for Tulsa here today. 5-point ball game. 6:20 to go. Here's Meek on the toss to Martinez. Man-to-man defense being shown here from HEA. And the drive from Martinez. A kick outside to Pennington. A drop off to Walters. Dealing with the pressure. Trying to hit back door, and Lincoln gets the steal. And she tries to get it to Williams. She does, and they break a little pressure here. And now we're down to 5:45 to go here in the ball game. Here's Valentine, guarded by Pennington. Lily Williams on the far outside, a swing to the wing, and Lincoln traveled before she drove. And ball's back to the arrows again.
That's one of potentially 3 or 4 different times that the call has been called on Lincoln, and it's the correct call. She's got a little bit of shuffling with the feet right as she's trying to set for the drive or the shot. And again, Tulsa has got to find a way to take advantage of these opportunities. That last offensive set, they have a lot of movement, a lot of player movement, but I'd love to see them hitting those screens actually on a body. A lot of times they're screening half of a screen or screening air. You want to make sure you're screening the man, not a position.
So a turnover there from Tulsa. That was a big play. And now the ball with the Firebirds is Valentine. A swing over to Hannah Williams. Feeding the wing now to Valentine. Feed underneath to Rao. Valentine cross-court pass. Perfect pass to Lincoln. Her three's no good. And the rebound's gotten again by Lincoln. That's a huge hustle play. And Valentine's pass perfect to Williams underneath for the finish.
That is incredible vision from Lila Valentine. And a great catch from Lily. She's got great hands, able to put that up and extend that lead back to 7.
Lily Williams now in double figures with 10 points. Ball in the hands now of Hope Stout. 7-point lead again for the Firebirds. Kick outside. In the corner is Meek. Meek the drive. Tries to feed it into Martinez. Ball's loose. Walters gets it back. And they really want to get a good shot here. 4:20 to go in the ball game. Three-pointer from Martinez is blocked out of bounds. She wanted a foul, but they didn't call that. They have a couple substitutions for Tulsa. It will be Arrows basketball on the baseline.
Martinez has a relatively quick release, but she releases it from kind of a low point. So Lincoln was able to time that perfectly. A little bit of a kind of a gamble for Lincoln to try to block a three-point attempt. The last thing you want to do is give Tulsa 3 free throws in this junction of the game.
Walters, floater, no good. Ball tipped off Hannah Williams. Walters gets it back underneath. Mace, nice finish against Williams. She was able to find the window for the finish.
She did a great job of going underneath Williams on that last possession.
And it's a 5-point ball game. Drive up the left side, feed it into Rao. Kick outside Williams. And now up top's Lily Williams. Valentine for 3. She hits it. What a shot from Lila Valentine as she's got 7.
She has ice in her veins. We saw that in the Undisputed game last year as an 8th grader playing at the highest level. She is not afraid of the moment, and that's a huge shot from Valentine.
29-21, just under 3.5 minutes to go in the game. Drive from Kennedy, feed to Mace, back to the basket. Will feed it to Walters. Walters with it, guarded by Hannah Williams. And she'll feed it up top. And a three-pointer from Mace is no good long. And the hustle play is gotten by the Firebirds, and that's Emma Lincoln. You wouldn't say that Lincoln's had her best game, but she has made a lot of things happen for the Firebirds, and she's been the one to get those loose balls.
She's been doing a lot of things that do not show up in the stat sheet, those hustle plays. Like you mentioned, she's got some long run-out rebounds. She's been able to really do a lot of the things that the Firebirds have needed her to do, a little bit of the dirty work, if you will. And on the other side, one thing I would imagine is I can't imagine there's many games this year that Tulsa Chef has played where Justice Walters has only scored 2 points. I can't imagine there's many games, so I don't know if that's HEA's game plan or if they've just really played her well. I mean, she's committed to play at the next level. She's committed to play at Bethany, so she can score at a high level. She's a good player. Just has not been her day, and give a lot of credit to HEA for the way that they've played defense and the way that they've guarded her.
29-21 is the score with 2:51 to play in the ball game. Lead for the Firebirds.
They're about at the same junction over at Drury, just under 3 minutes to play. HSSA is up 43-42 on Thesa. So good games at both courts. Thank you for tuning in and checking out all the action happening around Springfield this week at our two feature courts, Drury and Evangel.
Ball in the hands of Valentine. 2:45 to play in the ball game. Now the Firebirds really wanting to get good possessions here as Valentine drives. Feeding Lily Williams. Her drive, her floaters, no good air ball. Rebound pulled in by Stout. Feeding Walters up the right side of the floor. And she's got it. There's the pump fake drive from Stout. Underneath she travels. She's trying to find a way to get that shot up over Lily Williams. She didn't find it. She just ends up traveling on the play. And the ball will go again to HEA. Now the pass up the floor here to Rao. She's looking to find somebody else here as they feed up top Williams. They're trying to run a little time out here. Lincoln back Williams.
The clock is not Tulsa's friend right now, and HEA is able to milk a lot of time off the clock. Again, in high school, there's no shot clock, and HEA technically doesn't have to shoot again. They can just run the clock out, and they've done a good job of moving the ball. But Valentine says, you know what? Let me go ahead and ice this game a little bit.
Lila Valentine with her second tray, and she's got 10 points, and it's an 11-point lead with just over a minute and a half to go, and it looks like the Firebirds will be able to take this one as long as the Arrows don't do something that they haven't been able to do all game, which is just score really quickly. There's a travel there on Martinez in the lane, and the ball will be back with the Firebirds. But you have to say Tulsa has given a very good effort. They went down 18-3 early, and they end up cutting it back to as close as 5 points. But the Firebirds really just were able to keep control of the game, and that 18-3 start was huge.
It was, and you know, it's not the end of the journey for Tulsa either. One of the benefits of playing a pool play type schedule is that Tulsa is not out of it. They can still come back and do well in the rest of their two pool games, and they can still come out of the pool. HEA obviously would have a head-to-head, but they can still continue their journey here for an undisputed. And I would imagine we'll still hear some noise from Tulsa moving forward.
There's going to be a foul against Kennedy. That's Megan Kennedy. With 54 seconds to play in the ball game, an 11-point advantage for the Firebirds. They are the defending undisputed national champions, and they still have a lot of good players from that team, obviously. And that's Lily Williams who just got fouled there.
One of the benefits of having a player that tall is you just throw the ball up like way higher than you think anyone could get it, and she just corrals it. I mean, on that inbounds, they threw it up to her like she was a tight end, and she just brought it in, got fouled, and now HEA is looking to ice the game out.
Down to 45 seconds, and Valentine being chased and fouled by Pennington. And you're talking about only 16 teams make D1 for the girls 18U, and so everybody here is a very good team, and this Tulsa Chef team is a very good basketball team. And they will have another game today at 3:50 where they will play, I do believe, got it right here that the next game for them will be against the Dallas Thunder at 3:50. The Firebirds will play the Northside Lions at 3:50, both at the same time. We're going to see the Dallas Thunder Northside Lions up next right here on this court. But we got a 33-21 ball game and another timeout with 45 seconds to play.
And believe it or not, in the Midwest region on the girls' side, the Northside Lions were actually ranked higher than HEA going into the Midwest Regional. The number 1 seed West Michigan Hornets lost. The number 2 seed Northside Lions lost. And so by the time HEA got to the final, they pulled it out and won the Midwest Regional. But they weren't even the top 2 seeds at their own region, if that shows you how good the girls' programs are this year.
Yeah.
So for them to play Northside here a little bit later today, technically they're playing a team that was ranked higher than them going into the regional.
And you got Valentine at the line for her second free throw. She's already hit one. She's been the leading scorer of the ball game with 11 points. 45.3 to go, and the free throw goes down. And she has been very impressive, especially as a freshman.
She has. She's got 10 points in the fourth quarter alone to pull this one out for HEA.
And this fourth quarter has been huge for the Firebirds. This is a 5-point game going into it, and another block for Lily Williams. And she'll get it up the floor to Emma Lincoln. And 26 seconds, going to be another foul, this time against Hope Stout. But the Firebirds, who are defending national champions, their road will be tough, as every team is very good, just like you said. Going to be playing a team that was seeded higher than them. But another team to look at in the pools, in the girls, I know the CHSM, the Big South champions, are a very good team as well. So, I mean, we'll have to see how this goes in this girls' pool, or this girls' field from here on out. Walters' deep three does not go. Under 20 seconds to play, and another foul will send Emma Lincoln to the free throw line for 2 shots. 36-21. And with all this fouling, they're going to make this final score look like a blowout.
I was going to say, this is the kind of situation where the final score is probably not as reflective of the actual game itself. I mean, just a few minutes ago, we were talking about it being a game and wondering if Tulsa could find a way to, get a clutch basket and really cut the lead. I mean, it was 5-7 points most of the fourth quarter. And then recently, after a couple of Lila Valentine triples and some free throws, it completely changed the tenor of this ball game.
Lincoln will put them both in. She's got 8 points on the ball game. 3-pointer for Pennington is good. It was a wide open. She knocked it down. That's her only bucket of the ball game. And Pennington and Walters are their 2 leading scorers, finishing with 4 and 3, and that's kind of tough. And that reflects in the final score. 38-24 win for the HEA Firebirds. First game of pool play. And last thing I want to say, Paul, so in this pool play, I know that point differential does matter in pool play where it does not matter in a straight-up bracket. That's correct.
Up to 20 points per game can be your differential. So it didn't quite get to 20. They got a plus 14 differential for the Firebirds. But you're correct. It does play a factor. So we'll see as the pool play continues if any of that comes into play.
Which is very interesting because the Arrows could have made this like a 7-8 point loss. But doing all the fouling kind of put it up to where it was. But we'll see how that affects them here on out. But, folks, we appreciate you joining us. We got more action after this. Got another game coming up. But we appreciate you joining us for the HEA Firebirds and the Tulsa Chef Arrows. Final score 38-24.